I shouldn't answer that question. Maybe you and Melissa there from Central Lutheran, Ustaz Osman, is expert, and Rabbi Marcia Zimmerman. You know, I believe that we're doing really well, yet we still have a lot ahead of us to do. Am I right, Rabbi? Am I right, Reverend?
Absolutely.
Melissa? We still have a lot to do. But at least what I would say, when I came to this country back to 1980, I never thought I would be inside a church or a synagogue. But I have been. To speak with people of faith around me, to discuss very serious issues. Go ask her and her husband in here too, thank you for coming, how much time we talk about Israeli-Palestinian issues and so on and so forth. I have the honor to be invited to her synagogue to speak about that issue there to her people there. And I'm a Muslim. Okay? And I'm in favor of having two wonderful states side by side, and she does. And in Temple Israel, it is there. Churches around us in some ways. If I tell you now with that homelessness project we're having, we're putting our faith in action. I thought, but years and years ago, it's good to be together in a monthly meeting and having a wonderful breakfast, and we will take, as the senior clergy council of Minnesota. But we moved on to some other things we're doing. How we can do something in order to help those who are in need, those who are homeless. Some issues in the community, we have to talk about it. When it comes to Charleston in here, how we feel about it. If it happened to me or to my congregation, as it happened to some other people somewhere else, Muslims or Jewish people or Christians or any other people from any other belief, how you feel about it, what you can do about it. I greeted at the beginning all of you saying that, sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. I believe it. And my brothers and sisters in humanity, that's the way it should. It doesn't matter what you believe in. That's something between you and God Almighty. And I have nothing to do about it. I have nothing to say about it. That's your only choice, and you adhere into it. You love it, keep going. But it doesn't mean at all, if you're my neighbor, I cannot greet you in the morning and say, good morning, how are you? Or good afternoon, or good evening. It's the way it should. And I have seen it here in this country. In this country. And by the way, you're doing much better, I have to attest to that, than you. In terms of interfaith, in terms of activities, you name it. Yes. You do not find that prejudice, you do not find that, we do have that Islamophobia, yes. You do have the media is talking a lot about what's going on in the Muslim world and what's going on there with ISIS and so on and so forth. Yet, we're here, we're doing our best. But given that our plates are full with a lot of things for our congregation, you have a lot to do with your own people. You have a lot to do. She has a lot to do. I have a lot to do. Yet, we're adding more in order to be together and cooperate and coordinate in whatever we can do. We're doing the best. I'm saying that we still have a lot ahead of us. We still have a lot ahead of us. That's why we're doing our best to do this. If I share with you something, about the experience with interfaith and multi-faith with the Twin Cities, Interfaith, where Minnesota Council of Churches is part of it, Cynthia and Shannon are here, both of them, to take care of this program. We're participating about 13 organizations to have that Ramadan dinner. And with the synagogues and with the churches and so on and so forth. But even at the university level, yes, we have been coordinating a lot of things there. St. Thomas University, where we're having that advisory board of Christians and Muslims, have been doing wonderful things. Still a lot to do? Yes, no doubt about it. Still. When I'm invited in a regular basis, Dr. Andy Johnson from what university you belong to? Bethel University. Early on in my life, I say a Muslim to be in Bethel College and later Bethel University. I was invited, by the way, 1 week after 9/11 to speak there. Though I was grilled, and I shared this with Dr. Johnson there, when one of the students just stood up and said, "You guys get out of here." I did not say anything. It was the president of the university, faculty members, staff, students, took care of me on behalf of me. You go wherever you go, you are welcome. You never feel that you are rejected. And sometimes I can't handle the invitations, from many places of worship and hope to have that wonderful relationship among us. And this is the way it should. This is the way it should. If you tell me in your own, you can manage your life, you're living in your own tiny island away from everyone, you're mistaken. You are mistaken. Yes. I can share with you something in here. I love to talk about personal issues. Being a Muslim and people around me, Christian, Jews, you name it. When my son was 4 years old and we're living at the university housing at the University of Minnesota. We looked for someone to take care of him. And that one happened to me, Rosemary. While he was 4 years old, Muhammad. Look at him now.
He's a lot bigger than he is.
Oh, okay. I met Rosemary only last week after so many years when I was invited to the church to talk about Islam. And Pastor James told me that, Dr. Hamdy, I have a surprise for you. I said, who? I said, Rosemary. I said, sounds familiar. I have seen many Rosemarys, And before we finish, she showed up. Rosemary, my son's teacher, years and years and years back. This is the level, Reverend, the trust we do have. If I would say, no, I have a lot of mistrust, let me find a Muslim teacher or nanny or whatever to take care of my Muslim son, and that's it. No. This is not the way. This is not the way. That's why we have been developing this wonderful relationship among each other. A lot to do, Reverend? Yes. Yes. Cynthia? Yes.
Yes.
Rabbi? Don't nod your head, say yes. Melissa, what do you think? Yes. More questions? Yes.
How would you become an imam?
How I become an imam? By mistake. Wallahi, and I'm saying wallahi, I swear by God, I did not plan for it. I came to this country, my wife and I, to pursue our education. I have my MA and PhD in psychology. She does have her PhD in medicinal chemistry. That's it. But to be imam, no way. No way. It is the pressing needs. You find yourself on the spot. And you should serve your community, no matter what. Thanks God, I would say, a fair background in Islam. My parents taught me. I learned a lot. And when I came to University of Minnesota, participated right away in the Muslim Students Association at the University of Minnesota. By the way, this is the oldest in North America. Muslim Students Association at the University of Minnesota goes back to 1948. Yes, yes. And I met my fellow friends there, and they were praying and practicing. At that time we have, guess how many mosques in Minnesota? Can anyone imagine? Oh, Lee is saying 0. No, we had only one. Only one. Now we have how many? 64 places of worship. It tells you how the community is growing like crazy. But anyhow, make the story short. You know, we're sitting together, and who are you, where you came from, how's your life going, how's your studying, so on and so forth, how's your Islam. Start talking about Islam. Who's the most knowledgeable person around us in here, and everyone say, you. You're, oh my God, no, Wallah, I'm pretending. No, I'm faking. You. And you have to study. You have to study. You have to study. You have a master's and PhD. This is more than enough for University of Minnesota. You have to study Islam and learn more. And I took it upon myself seriously, and truly I said I will do my best to do it. But I'm not ordained the way in Judaism and Christianity. It is actually the consent of the community. The community would say, you are the one. You are the leader. You are the imam. You are the one who would teach us, and so on and so forth. And here, amazingly enough, maybe you do not know, this organization established on volunteers. I'm not a paid imam. No. I'm volunteering in here. And those wonderful people here in the masjid are volunteers. We learn together, we teach together, we sweep the floor together, we mop together, we do the cleaning together, we are volunteers. And this is actually a wonderful thing we're doing together here. Especially in this place, if you know a little bit about the history in here, was a mansion of one of the wealthiest people in Northeast, and he put in his will to be converted to a church. And the inheritors did. Somehow it didn't work out because there is no enough members. So okay, let's do some other business. They leased it to the VA. It was a VA facility. It didn't work either. So the owner said, we want to make money out of it. So what would be the other alternative? Let's have, they said, nightclub. Where's me with it? But neighbors here never liked it. It didn't stay even for 3 months. Shut it down. Still would love to make money. They found a group of Hindu here in Minnesota. They got a place and they converted it to a Hindu temple till they build their own in suburb. This is their tradition. But before they left from here, they sold it to a group of Buddhist people. And the Buddhists also, in their traditions, they love to build their own in suburb, and they did. And I drove by 2nd Street several times because East Side neighborhood is only 2 blocks north of us, where I'm the president of the board. We had a meeting early morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I just look at the dragons coming out of the door and stuff. But by the door, a piece of paper this size, saying, for sale, by owner, phone number. I stopped and I called. I'm interested. Say, oh, you're welcome. I said, I have a meeting, maybe I will be done by 9, and I will come. And I came, wallahi the second, they opened the door for me, I said, this is going to be our mosque. And it is. It is. So we took it upon us financially, responsibility. It doesn't look like your churches. I hope it would. See Malaysia saying, what's wrong with it? It's good. Or like your wonderful synagogue there, where they are having renovation, by the way, 35 million? And she raised the fund there. And the whole year I'm struggling for 1 million in a year. But they are doing really well. It is a very simple, humble place. Once you go there for our prayer to watch us praying, you will appreciate at least the carpet, because we got it from Egypt. Very well designed and stuff. But it's simple, as you can see. But it is not the place to me. It is people who can make the place a paradise. This is the way. And your presence with us tonight made it as such. Yes. Yes.
So of the 64 mosques that are in the area, how many of them have opened the doors like you do here to us?
This year, when we arranged with Minnesota Council of Churches to have the Ramadan Iftar, I believe the record is saying 13?
18.
18.
Yeah.
Good news. Thank you. 18 are willing to host you folks in here and to break the festival of Ramadan with us. It doesn't mean the rest are kind of reluctant, but it is a new experience for them. I have been around for so many years. I developed a wonderful relationship with people. Some other people are still testing the water. They still kind of concerned about the very, very basic needs of their community, the safety of their children, not to be recruited, go somewhere else. So when it comes to such an activity, they look at us and say, this is very luxurious activity. We cannot afford it, we cannot organize it, we cannot arrange it, and so on and so forth. So it is a matter of experience, a matter of priorities as well. I do have those programs in my mosque or my center. I do this and I do this and do that. That's fine. And even some of them, that experience of being indulged and involved in interfaith and multi-faith activities, for many of them, is zero. It's zero. So I feel for them. I feel for them. Yes?
Are there doctrinal differences between Shia and Sunni Muslims?
Good question. Is there any difference or major differences between Shia and Sunni? You know what Shia are and Sunni are. Shia mainly, in Iran, part of Afghanistan, part of Pakistan, and they do not even constitute even 5% of the Muslim population. 95% are Sunni, all over. Differences not in major aspects of Islam. Major aspects of Islam across the board are the same. But when it comes to some other things, especially politics, that's one major thing. Okay? And also the feeling of being a minority, too. Actually, some connection in Lebanon, in Yemen, there and here, and so on and so forth. That long history of having the Shah in Iran there for so many years, and that wonderful and good relationship was established between the United States of America and Iran during Shah time. And then Khomeini came, everything went upside down. So you went from one extreme to another extreme. Okay? And in the meantime, those differences there, when you think about it, would it help? Would it benefit? Would it somehow, for so many years, we know the animosity between Iran and the United States of America. Just recently, we have seen all of those discussion and dialogue about the nuclear facilities and so on and so forth, and the embargo against Iraq, and the money has been frozen somewhere else. So there is a new development there. Gulf states and Saudi Arabia in particular are kind of really nervous about the Iranian situation, especially after the war took place between Iraq, or Saddam Hussein was there, and Iran. 8 years, and here we're talking about almost 1 million people were killed, both sides. Beside the devastating situation in the economy and oil and so on and so forth. How it would go in the future, I would think that having that relationship between West and Iran in a much better shape would be some influence to settle down things. I'm not anticipating more of war or animosity of hatred. This is my own judgment about what is going. They love to have Shia everywhere, no doubt about it. Convert all the Sunni, 95%, to the Shiite belief, no doubt about it. Have that hierarchy of the system from Ayatollah down to whatever, they love to have this all over the place. Not necessarily like being imam in here or imam there, or like in Saudi Arabia you have the king, or in somewhere else it is the emir. No, they love to have that hierarchy system of the state of Iran, mainly Islamic, and everything comes after. But we're hoping that things would be much better.
What is that discussion has to do with the difference between the Shia and the Sunni?
You remember when I say it's mainly more of politicizing things. And if you go to the principles of Islam, whether Shia or Sunni, you won't find any difference whatsoever.
I think the question was the difference between Muslim, Shia, and Sunni from a point of religion, and what they believe and what others believe. You're talking about the country and the political. It just doesn't have nothing to do with it.
It's time to break our fasting. Okay? Sorry, I did not answer your question. But it is time now to have water and dates, and we'll have it together. And after we're done having the dates and water, relax, go upstairs. Feel free to come. If you don't like to come to observe the prayer there, you don't have to. Okay? So please.